30 seconds and counting.
Hey, what's good, yo? Welcome back to another video. It's Anish, joined with Drew and E. And today is day 2 of the NFL draft. A lot of good players still available. As y'all know, we selected Derek Stingley Jr. with the 3rd pick, and we selected Kenyon Green with the 15th overall pick. So those two positions, cornerback and guard, seem to have addressed for the time being. Whether or not they double dip is still an uncertainty, but Drew and E, what are some of the players you would hope the Texans should look at or target in day 2?
Yeah, so I'm kind of working on trying to find out who I want to Texans to target all day. And the first guy I think we should talk about is Nakobe Dean, the linebacker from Georgia. The main reason for him even being here is because he suffered a pectoral injury. I think he tore his pec during like some weightlifting exercise, most likely bench press. So also kind of held off the surgery, so that dropped his stock. It hurt his pro day, things like that. But at one point, I remember I had him number 6 overall on my big board, which is really impressive because there's other superstar players that were on that list that were above him. So Nakobe Dean, he was the leader of that Georgia defense. He's a super twitchy, rangy, athletic linebacker. Just a fantastic tackler. He also kind of showed ability to blitz, get through the gaps. He's only 5'11", 6 feet tall, so that's also kind of a little bit concerned. But also kind of plays to his advantage with his body control. He's got really good collisions that he can make there. So yeah, I think that he's a potential green dot player for the Texans. Just kind of a cornerstone linebacker that the Texans definitely need. Obviously they got Berksy, Kamu, but those guys are like 29, 30-ish. So they're going to need that a younger kind of player at linebacker, which I do expect them to do at some point in this draft. Now, I think that I expect that Nakobe Dean is still there. He may not be there at 37. He may be the first pick tonight. But I think Nakobe Dean is the player that they should target at pick 37.
Yeah, I got to stay true to brand here and say the player I've been talking about for the past 2 weeks. Just give me Breece Hall at 37 at this point. I feel like we've been talking about it for so much that just has to happen. You finally get a workhorse type running back that can probably play as much as you want him to, while also having Marlon Mack, who you can plug in and play every couple of plays, every couple of snaps, because we still don't know what you have in Marlon Mack. So I don't think he should really affect whether you're going to take a running back in the 2nd round or 3rd round. So if we do end up with Breece Hall, he's probably going to be the happiest man on Texas Twitter at this point.
Yeah, that would be a fantastic pick. I mean, Breece Hall's stock has just been going up and up and up, and I'm really, really happy that he's still here. And I think that obviously the Texans had a top 30 visit with Breece Hall, so that'd be a really exciting pick, and he's going to be an absolute stud in this league, regardless if the Texans pick him or not.
What do you guys think about the other positions like wide receiver, edge? Do you feel comfortable with the depth there compared to running back or linebacker? What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, so I think the wide receiver position is really, really deep in this draft. But another guy I think the Texans should target. I got 2 guys at the wide receiver position. First one is Christian Watson, the wide receiver from North Dakota State. He is 6'4", about 210 pounds. He ran a 4.28 40-yard dash. He's a true unicorn prospect. I think he was a perfect 10 on the relative athletic score. If you want to check that out, it's a pretty cool website. Kind of tells you how rare a prospect is athletically, and Watson is exactly that. He's got elite yard after catch ability. He's very, very hard to bring down. North Dakota State would sometimes use him as a running back, kind of give him an outside zone, outside sweep kind of play. So my comp for him would be Deebo Samuel, but obviously a much taller Deebo Samuel. Christian Watson, he definitely needs a little bit of work in his route running, but personally, in a Pep Hamilton system, I think he could be lethal because Pep's gonna probably use short passes as an extension of the run game, and he's also gonna have that vertical passing game, kind of off play action once you can establish the run. And another major plus about Christian Watson is his run blocking. he and George Pickens are absolutely the best run blocking wide receivers in the draft, which is I think is a very very underrated thing and something that Nick Casario is definitely going to value when looking into players, looking for their grit, their toughness, their effort, and Christian Watson gives his all in the run blocking. I've seen plays where he's running down the field. He made a block like 40 or 50 yards down the field to guarantee the touchdown that it probably would not have been a touchdown without his block. So Christian Watson would be my dream pick at pick 37.
Yeah, I'd love to have Christian Watson personally, like at 37 too. But I feel like we're gonna have to trade up into the second to get either Christian Watson or my guy is John Mechie. Like you guys know how much I love the Alabama receivers. Said it in the previous podcast. If anyone has not checked it out, you can go back and check it out. But just having John Mechie would be pretty insane too to think about. Like John Mechie, Watson, whoever we end up getting at receiver is gonna be good because you're just giving Mills another weapon to work with. You're giving him more flexibility on offense, and you're just giving yourself more flexibility to run plays with Mechie because he's a great route runner, sorry, and he has very good release packages too. So he's definitely a guy we should keep an eye out on, and he's probably going to go in the second.
Yeah, I think he actually operate really well out of the slot, which will obviously keep Cooks and Nico on the outside, and obviously Mechie. I'm sure at one point he was considered a first round pick for. He suffered an injury, so I think that'd be really cool. And for my last player that I absolutely love, he's projected to go in the third round. Nick Cross, the safety from Maryland. He's extremely athletic. He's got great range, great ball skills, a super hard hitting, solid tackler. And of course, the Texans, they need a safety. They decided not to go with Kyle Hamilton, meaning they'd be rocking with Eric Murray, Jonathan Owens, MJ Stewart at the safety position, but Nick Cross, he could be a really good two-high safety. Where you can also have some positional versatility there with his range. You can play him at one high, you can play him in the box, and he's also only 20 years old. So I think that'd be a really interesting pick. And personally, don't even mind wherever we pick him in the draft. I wouldn't consider it a reach. I would consider it a steal because Nick Cross has gone severely under the radar and would be a fantastic pick.
And also, like for the edge position I mentioned, like Ojabo is still available. He did have that Achilles injury at his pro day, so that really tanked his stock, of course. But yeah, I think in terms of Nick Caserio's thought on injuries, this is what he said. He said there are some players that injuries are going to factor into evaluation, right, wrong, or indifferent, but that could affect some players to some degree. So having an idea of if there may be a player that isn't going to play this year, are you okay with that? Are you comfortable with that? You might be. When I think of Ajabo, he was considered like a top like 15 talent before the injury. Obviously, Achilles injury is hard to predict whether or not they will return back to speed. This is like like harder to recover than the ACL injuries, of course, because this one really hurts your athleticism, things like that. But some players have shown to be come back to normal. So I think with Ojabo, you did sign a 1 year stopgap, at least a 1 year contract with Ogbo Okoronkwo. He's going to play edge for us. So if you draft Ojabo and you have like a solid stopgap, in Ogbo, who's also like not super old too, and I like him too as a player, but I think if you just take a chance on Ojabo, that would not be a bad selection either. Some other guys at edge, maybe Boye Mafe or Abekete. Feel like since we did draft Stingley over Kayvon in pick 3, I feel like they might go defense maybe at 37. They went defense, offense, and now maybe defense at 37. I mean, it's they're probably not doing any patterns, of course, but but yeah, I feel like those are some good names to think about. So we talked about running back, wide receiver, edge, linebacker. Any other players you want to mention before we end the video?
Yeah, I got another Nick, not Nick Cross or Nick Casario, but Nick Bonito, like the guy we've been talking about for a good minute too. I could see the Texans taking him like at edge if we need one. I mean, if they like him, he's quick, he's athletic, he's versatile. You can put him like anywhere on the front pretty much. So like just having that option with Nick Bonito too, especially considering he's been falling to the Texans in every single mock we did, pretty much. So I really just feel like it's destined at this point for us to have Nick Bonito. I really wouldn't be mad at that pick too. So yeah, that's just pretty much it. All I wanted to say on Nick Bonito.
Yeah, I mean, Nick Benito is he's pretty much one of my draft crushes. I absolutely love him. I don't really know much about his fit in a Texans team, but I know he's pretty versatile. He's got long arms, he's quick, he's a really good pass rusher. He had a pretty high pass rush win rate. And another guy that had a really high pass rush win rate was Arnold Ebiketie. I know Anish talked about him a little bit, but I think he's really technically refined. He's got really great quickness. He's a solid run defender. He's got a ton of bag of tricks in his pass rushing moves. So I know I think he's already like 23 years old, but Texans desperately need another edge across Jonathan Kennard. Of course, you could rock with Ogbo, but I still think they need to add more depth at that position. Obviously, they lost Jacob Martin too, so it'd be nice if they would address the edge position. Otherwise, you can go with a bunch of these really young, athletic, and great skill players that we talked about earlier.
Yeah, and with that being said, that's pretty much it for the video. Let us know your thoughts on these potential day 2 picks, and as always, be sure to like, subscribe, and turn on post notifications. Peace.